The year was 1974. A pervasive sense of unease settled over Mill Creek, a town where time seemed to drift by at a slower pace. Summers were for lazy afternoons, the murmur of cicadas a familiar soundtrack. But that summer, the heat was oppressive, stifling. It was the kind of heat that seemed to amplify every sound, every worry. And then, the unthinkable happened. Susie Jaeger, a bright, vivacious 10-year-old with a smile that could light up a room, vanished. One minute she was playing hopscotch with her friends, the next there was only silence. The sun, once a source of warmth and joy, now cast long, ominous shadows. The disappearance of Susie Jaeger sent shockwaves through the heart of Mill Creek, shattering the town's innocence and leaving an unfillable void. Susie Jaeger was the epitome of childhood innocence. With her infectious laughter and boundless energy, she brought joy to everyone she encountered. She was a ray of sunshine, always eager to lend a helping hand or share a warm smile. Her days were filled with the simple pleasures of childhood, playing with her dog, drawing colorful pictures, and dreaming of becoming a veterinarian. She had a thirst for adventure, a curiosity that led her on countless explorations in the woods behind her house. To her parents, she was their everything, a precious gift that filled their lives with love and laughter. To her friends, she was a loyal confidant, a partner in crime in all their childhood escapades. Susie Jaeger was the heart of her family, the spark of her group of friends, a shining light in the small town of Mill Creek. June 23, 1974, started like any other summer day in Mill Creek. The town was known for its tranquility, a place where everyone knew each other, and the days were filled with the simple joys of small-town life. The sun rose high in the sky, casting a warm glow over the town. The streets were bathed in golden light, and the air was filled with the scent of blooming flowers and freshly cut grass. Children's laughter echoed through the streets as they gathered for another day of carefree play. The playground, usually bustling with activity, was a testament to the joy and innocence that filled the town. Susie Jaeger, her blonde hair shining in the sunlight, skipped out of her house, a peanut butter and jelly sandwich tucked safely in her lunchbox. She was a picture of youthful exuberance, her eyes sparkling with the promise of another fun-filled day. She was meeting her friends at the park, their usual spot for summer adventures. The park was their kingdom, a place where their imaginations could run wild and their laughter could be heard for miles. They played hide and seek, the sound of their giggles blending with the chirping of birds. The trees provided the perfect hiding spots, and the children reveled in the thrill of the game. As the afternoon wore on, Susie decided to head home. She waved goodbye to her friends, her tiny hand tracing a path through the air. The sun was beginning its descent, casting a warm orange hue over the town. That was the last time anyone saw her. The park, once filled with laughter, now stood silent and empty, the shadows growing longer as the day turned to dusk. As the sun began to set, casting long shadows across the town, panic set in. The peaceful atmosphere was replaced with a sense of dread as the realization that Susie was missing began to sink in. Susie's parents, their faces etched with worry, alerted the authorities. They had searched every corner of their home and the surrounding area, but there was no sign of their little girl. The search for Susie Jaeger had begun. The police, along with volunteers from the community, scoured the town, looking for any clues that might lead them to her. The once quiet streets were now filled with the sounds of search parties and the anxious whispers of neighbors. As night fell, the community came together, holding a candlelight vigil for Susie. The flickering flames of the candles cast a somber glow, reflecting the hope and determination of the townspeople to find the missing girl. The police set up a command center, coordinating the search efforts and following up on any leads. The town, once a haven of peace, was now a hub of activity, as everyone worked tirelessly to bring Susie home. Photos of Susie were distributed, showing a happy, smiling child who was loved by all who knew her. The images served as a stark reminder of what was at stake and the urgency of the search. volunteers combed through fields and forests, leaving no stone unturned in their quest to find Susie. The community's resolve was unwavering, their hearts united in a common goal. Susie's parents clung to each other, their hearts heavy with fear and uncertainty. They held on to her favorite toy, a small stuffed bear, as a symbol of their hope and love for their missing daughter. As dawn broke over Mill Creek, the search continued with renewed vigor. The town, though weary, was determined to find Susie and bring her home. The whispers of hope had turned to screams of determination, echoing through the streets as the search for Susie Jaeger pressed on. The disappearance of Susie Jaeger sent shockwaves through the Mill Creek Police Department. It was a quiet town where everyone knew each other, and such a mysterious event was unheard of. The officers, who were more accustomed to handling minor disputes and traffic violations, suddenly found themselves at the center of a high-stakes investigation. A small town unaccustomed to such events, the police force found themselves thrust into a frantic race against time. The urgency was palpable, as every second that ticked by could mean the difference between life and death. The streets, usually calm and serene, were now filled with the blaring sirens of police cars rushing to follow up on every lead. Every passing moment felt heavy with the weight of the unknown. The clock seemed to tick louder with each passing second, a constant reminder of the stakes at hand. The officers worked tirelessly, their minds racing with possibilities and scenarios, each more dire than the last. The initial investigation focused on the familiar faces of Mill Creek, questioning neighbors, friends, and even strangers passing through town. The officers went door to door, hoping to find someone who had seen or heard something that could provide a clue. They interviewed everyone, from the local shopkeepers to the mailman, leaving no stone unturned. The community, united by a shared sense of dread and determination, rallied around the Jaeger family, organizing search parties that combed through fields, forests, and every nook and cranny of their small town. Volunteers of all ages joined the effort, bringing flashlights, maps, and a fierce resolve to find Susie. The sense of unity was strong, but so was the underlying fear that gripped every heart. Leads were followed, tips were meticulously pursued, but every path seemed to lead to a dead end. The investigators sifted through countless pieces of information, each one bringing a glimmer of hope that was quickly extinguished. The clues were sparse and often contradictory, adding to the growing sense of confusion and frustration. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months, and still, there was no sign of Susie. The initial flurry of activity began to wane, replaced by a slow, grinding persistence. The seasons changed, but the mystery remained unsolved, casting a long shadow over the town. The investigation, once fueled by urgency, was now clouded by frustration and a growing sense of despair. The detectives, who had once been hopeful and driven, now found themselves staring at the same evidence, over and over, searching for something they might have missed. The weight of the case bore heavily on their shoulders as the hope of finding Susie began to fade. Despite the growing despair, the community held on to hope. Candlelight vigils were organized, where people gathered to pray for Susie's safe return. The flickering candles symbolized the light they hoped to bring into the darkness of the situation. The Jaeger family, though devastated, found strength in the support of their neighbors and friends. The town's bulletin boards were plastered with missing person posters, each one a stark reminder of the ongoing search. Notes of encouragement and messages of hope were pinned alongside, a testament to the community's unwavering spirit. The search for Susie Jaeger had become more than just a police investigation. It was a collective mission, driven by love, hope, and an unyielding determination to bring her home. The disappearance of Susie Jaeger cast a long shadow over Mill Creek. It was as if the very heart of the town had been ripped out, leaving a void that could not be filled. The once vibrant streets now seemed muted, the laughter of children replaced by whispers of concern and fear. Fear, like an invisible fog, settled over the once peaceful town. It crept into every home, every conversation, and every heart. The sense of security that had once been taken for granted was now a distant memory, replaced by an ever-present sense of dread. Parents held their children a little tighter, their hearts heavy with a mixture of fear and sorrow. They whispered reassurances they barely believed themselves, trying to shield their young ones from the harsh reality that had invaded their lives. The innocence of childhood seemed fragile, hanging by a thread. The carefree days of summer were replaced with a constant, gnawing anxiety. The parks, once filled with the joyous sounds of play, now stood eerily silent. Every rustle of leaves, every unfamiliar face was met with suspicion and unease. The community's collective breath was held, waiting for news, any news. Yet, amidst the fear, there was also an unwavering sense of hope, a shared belief that Susie would be found. This hope was a lifeline, a beacon in the darkness that kept the community from being completely consumed by despair. It was a fragile hope, but it was hope nonetheless. The community, bound together by this shared tragedy, refused to give up. They organized search parties, combed through woods and fields, and knocked on every door. They shared meals, stories, and tears, finding solace in each other's company. In their unity, they found strength. Candlelight vigils illuminated the night, the flickering flames a testament to their unwavering hope. These gatherings were more than just a show of solidarity. They were a collective prayer, a plea to the universe for Susie's safe return. The soft glow of the candles mirrored the fragile yet persistent hope in their hearts. Flyers with Susie's smiling face adorned every storefront, a constant reminder of the little girl who had stolen their hearts. Her image was everywhere, a silent plea for help, a reminder that she was still out there, somewhere. The community's determination to find her never wavered. The people of Mill Creek, though shaken to their core, found strength in their unity, their collective spirit a beacon of hope in the face of unimaginable tragedy. They were united by fear, but driven by hope, and it was this hope that kept them going, day after day, night after night. In the end, it was their unwavering belief in each other and in the possibility of Susie's return that defined them, turning their darkest hour into a testament of human resilience and community spirit.